Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015 whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time on the Friday Fix and 1 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday at the Sunday Town Hall. Thanks for our last Town Hall meeting. It was pretty exciting. We had new people come in, some viewers. Shout out to Steve, solid guy that came in there, and Cam. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff going on. So, Wes, what's going on in the world today?
Well, I mean, of course, we got some news from Elon Musk again. Musk renews firing threat after being stymied by federal officials. Elon Musk, President Trump's point person to root out what he says is government waste, on Monday renewed his threat to fire federal workers who do not comply with his demand to justify their jobs, even after the Trump administration said workers did not have to respond. The U.S. agency that oversees federal employees said Monday they could ignore a weekend email from Musk that required them to summarize their work or face losing their jobs. The directive sparked widespread confusion across the federal government and raised questions about how much actual authority Musk, the world's richest man, possesses within the administration. As the deadline for response grew near on Monday, Musk, whom Trump appointed to head up a newly named Department of Government Efficiency that Trump has tasked to radically downsize the government, seemed to acknowledge that his plan had run aground. The email request was utterly trivial, as the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send. Musk posted on X, the social media site he owns, yet so many failed, even that inane test, urged on his in some cases by their managers. So basically, man, this guy is doing, to me, he's like almost like degrading federal workers, trying to get them to quit by doing things that don't matter. You're wasting tax dollars with these games that you're playing. At the end of the day, he basically came out and told everyone, "Hey, write me an essay on why you should and what you do. Summarize your job and why you should basically keep your job." These are grown people. You know what I mean? These are
he's sending them emails asking them. He's like, "Give me a rundown of what you did last week. Tell me everything that you did that you accomplished." And it's like, he's treating them like that's how he does his employees. That's what he did to them at Twitter. That's what he does to the people at Tesla. He's a bully. And he's, some people, like I always say, some people shouldn't be allowed in power. Like Elon Musk, he doesn't care about America. Watch what happens when whatever they're doing fails. He gets fired. And, Trump kicks him out. He's like, "Look, you're making me look too bad. My poll numbers are too low." Because his poll numbers are low now. They're hiding them from him. But his poll numbers are low now. Watch when he gets rid of Elon. You know what Elon's going to do? He's going to leave. All the damage he does, that's my one thing. That's why I don't like Elon. That's why I don't like Kash Patel, because they have allegiances to other companies, other countries.
That's the whole entire Trump administration. You got Gabby, whatever her name is. You know what I mean? Like, she has allegiances to Russia. They all do. All of them do down the line. You can look at them. Some of them got tattoos to tell you where their allegiance, really lies at. This person has done nothing but, if you look at what Elon Musk is about, he's tasked with basically destroying America. That's his job. He came in looking at USAID because China told him to, because they understand that's a strong arm that's a strong appendage of like the CIA and other special forces that America has to be able to say, "Hey, I need to send a little bit of money over here to get this information out of wherever I'm at, or I need to send a little aid over here to make sure that we're okay in this region." And so he came in with that task to destroy the American government from within. Yeah, he's doing a great job of it while Trump sits by and idly lets him do it, because he's a part of the whole entire plot as well. This isn't. I'm not separating Trump and Elon. They're one and the same to me. They came into this one and the same. They're one and the same. Period.
Yeah, and for me, I look at it like this. A lot of people are cheering this on, and to those people, no one likes them. No way. That's what it is. That's how I look at it, because they don't have anyone that they care about that's going to be affected by it, because nobody likes to deal with them anyways. And I saw somebody online today, and they were like, "Yeah, well, the majority of America decided this." I'm like, no, they didn't. It was a quarter of America, a little like 2 million over a quarter of America. The rest of if you set it out, you set it out. That's on you. But I like how they told, the FBI and the DO Department of Defense, they're like, ignore that email. Ain't nobody listening to him. He don't run nothing over here. You know what I'm saying? Even though the DOD, just Department of Defense or the Pentagon, they just fired a whole bunch of workers today.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening across the board, like you were saying during our Sunday town hall. I mean, they're firing people from everywhere. It's pretty bad. But to have someone who can just play a game with people's lives, I think that's what he's trying to get them to feel. That kind of stress and angst. He's trying to get the federal workers to feel, so they just quit. So they just move on, because that's the only way. But he doesn't understand. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Really, like this guy said the other day, that those are made up jobs. Like, what are you talking about? Those aren't even real jobs. Are you serious? Just because someone's telling you that this isn't a real job doesn't mean this is not a real job. We understand that running up a country of our size and a GDP of our magnitude, economy of our magnitude scale, takes a lot of people to be able to do it efficiently. Eventually, you can probably bust down the numbers somewhat. They said that during Clinton's presidency, he got rid of about 350,000 federal workers at that time, but it was done in a manner consistent with efficiency, not just slicing people. Cutting them off.
Well, yeah, they don't have a plan for it. They're just firing people. I mean, the smart thing to do is to sit back, evaluate everyone, see what their job does, see if their job is wasteful, see if it's not. They don't care. They're just like, okay, we just want to slash prices. So all you new employees, y'all got to go. This department, y'all can do better. And they think that the people that are still there are going to work double or triple times hard for his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because they could just quit and go to the private sector. Honestly, they act like people need these jobs.
People act like they don't understand that the economy is interconnected. The fact of the matter is, they're cutting these jobs so they can try and show some kind of saving somewhere, so they can, when they push this huge tax cut that they're pushing, this $6.5 trillion to $11 trillion tax cut and tax breaks for the wealthy down your throat, that you'll be fine with it because you believe they found some money elsewhere. They've lied about the figures so many times that people are believing them. Someone said to me 2.7 trillion they found, which is a blatant lie. Like, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm saying that wherever they found that information from, that's a lie. And everyone knows this already. There's no way they're going to be able to find enough money in cuts or whatever else. Or how am I going to give you $5,000 when I need it? It's your money, basically. I'm basically giving you your money. And running up the debt, and then making sure I take it from you later, because inflation is going to come and eat that ass up when it's time. We all know this already.
Because somebody told me, or I saw a post today, it said, hey, our $5,000 checks are coming out February 31st.
Which is never. February. What's that for February? You know what I'm saying?
February 31st. I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute. That don't make no sense.
They're never coming. That's why they said next year. That's why they're like, hey, we're going to give you all y'all money next year if we find the savings. Up to $5,000.
Up to $5,000.
It's not clearly that. So what they're not telling us right now is that they're making these cuts willy nilly. They don't care who gets cut. You've cut nuclear officials. You've cut bird flu officials. You've cut people that you had to try and go back and rehire because you have no idea what you're doing. You lied to people about Social Security. That's why we don't hear about it anymore now, because now you understand. You understand what you said was a lie, and you just keep on moving on to the next lie, because it's easier. And I'm saying, for you to keep lying, people keep on passing on your lies, than for you to make up and tell the truth about what's really happening. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing from this right here. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that people don't really realize this guy has no clue how to run a country. It's different.
People don't realize Donald Trump ran the country into the ground last time. You know what I'm saying? And then why Joe Biden was trying to fix it, he was getting resistance. It's whatever. It's neither here nor there. We're in a whole new system now. It's no longer the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? We're in Trump's world right now. But I'm saying he ran America into the ground, and everyone was like, let's do it again. Because you got to own libs online. There was nobody in your face you got to see crying unless you went to a protest. You got to own libs online, and now all I see people online is like, I didn't think they was going to fire my wife from our government job. I feel betrayed. The farmers are out there like, look, we bought all this equipment. We had to pay with our own money, and the government was supposed to pay us back. And the farmers are like, now they're not paying us back. Like, I need that money.
It seems like that what make, like you said, owning people. That's what make the hope for me, your misery. You know what I mean? It's what makes these people happy. It's just weird to me, because in reality, it's truly their misery. If you look at the numbers, you guys are the uneducated. You guys are the poor. You guys are the ones who are taking most of all these different government subsidies. You guys are getting all these things, but now you're gonna have to deal with it, because he's trying to cut $880 billion from Medicare. They've
Well,
already
you see it
signed
now.
off.
The red states are like, wait a minute, this is affecting my constituents. These are
Yeah.
affecting my people because we live in states where we can fund ourselves. We're fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Republicans coming out. Hey, man, can you not cut this in my state that's taking these jobs off? You see Republicans, hey, I'm getting fired from my job. My wife lost her job. This is not what I voted for.
Hey, someone in our comments tried to mention when you said that our state can take care of itself. They were like, oh, well, why are you guys crying about federal funding, freezing federal funding? I said, well, because if you put money into something, you're going to expect money out of it. If I'm going to put some money into something, I'm going to expect my just due when it comes time. I'm not going to say, oh, well, we don't need that. You guys just keep our money and put it on top with everyone else's. And the people who are voting against our own interests and everything else. That's why you ask for stuff like that. That's why because it's a part of what we're supposed to get. But we're putting more money in than what we're getting out, just like California and all the other blue states.
Yeah. And the reason I complain about, I guess I care about other people. I don't like to watch people suffer. That's just something I just don't enjoy to do. Some people enjoy it. They're like, oh, look at all these people starving and dying in America. Ha, 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 they're homeless now. I don't like to watch people suffer. So, yeah, I'm like, why are you freezing all these federal funds? Like, it doesn't make, because they have no, it's basically destroy, or it's like fire, destroy, rebuild.
I don't think they're even trying to rebuild anything. Only thing they care about is big business. Big business doesn't have to rebuild because nothing got destroyed for them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, are you going to have enough private security to fight all the citizens that ain't got nothing better to do with their time but attack you? You know what I'm saying? You can only run for so long. Because once you destroy America, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to turn on you. Ever seen that movie Civil War? The new one they came out with?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good movie. I mean, it's kind of where we're at a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The states are about to split up, but I mean, we're going to keep you informed on this as the world turns. I got one here. ICE arrests bakery owners for harboring migrants. The owner of Abby's Bakery in South Texas were arrested and charged with harboring individuals unlawfully present in the U.S., as well as aiding and abetting their harboring, according to criminal complaints. The case is a rare instance of federal authorities targeting business owners for allegedly employing undocumented immigrants. President Donald Trump made strict immigration measures a core component of his return to the White House. Along with carrying out mass deportations, his second administration has vowed to prosecute anyone who impedes their immigration enforcement operations. Homeland Security investigators conducted a worksite enforcement action at Abby's Bakery in Los Fresnos on February 12th, arresting 8 undocumented workers. The owner, Leonardo, and Nora were charged with bringing in and harboring aliens and aiding and abetting the harboring of aliens, according to Department of Homeland Security. According to the criminal complaint, Bays and Avila admitted to knowing the individuals were legally present in the country and acknowledged harboring them on the property they own. 2 individuals who were in the country illegally identified Bays and Avila as the bakery owners and the ones who provided them and the others with shelter.
My personal when I first hear that, they're using the word alien a whole lot more now. You know
they're trying to
go back.
They're trying to go back. Yeah,
they're trying to go back to all the ugly jargon that we used to use before about people that we don't really need to. Were they going to go back to the jargon about us to try to make that normalize that as well too? I'm sure they would like to, but I'm saying we have a little bit more punch around here than other people do. So I understand you're just reading the article, but that's an ugly word. We don't use the word alien. I mean, shit, is it a real alien? That's what I'm wondering. Is it a real alien around here?
Yeah, that was always weird how they call them aliens. I'd be like, what do you mean aliens? Yeah. But see, the whole thing is, you know what this sounds like? The Underground Railroad, when they used to harbor the slaves. It's exactly what it is. I said this too. I told you, I was like, bro, for a while, I was like, look, they're gonna arrest the migrants, then they're gonna kick them out, then they're gonna start arresting the people that were helping them out. And as you see, it's the first ones knocked down. And that's just a small fraction of it. Soon they're going to start arresting governors and mayors and city councilmen. You know what I'm saying?
I see it coming. They're already suing them right now. They went the sue route first because they understand you go in and you arrest. I won't say, let's just use New York City as an example because we both know Eric Adams is sold out already. But let's just use New York City as an example. You go in and arrest New York City's mayor. That's going to cause a problem in New York State. Now you're almost saying that they're no longer a sovereign state. I can just come in and arrest your officials for any and every crime that you want to say they committed. So that'd be like, okay, now you've started something that's totally different. Now you started something that when a Democrat gets in office, he can go into deep Nebraska or deep within Mississippi and arrest one of their officials. Now we're having standoffs over something that's petty, and this is where they're taking our country to. Everyone sees what's going on here. Do I think people should be harboring people who are here illegally? No, I don't. However, I feel like our system is broken, and our system is broken badly enough to where we need to do something about it. At the end of the day, right now, we cannot survive without people coming here, without immigration, heavy immigration, more immigration than what we can even sustain with the current system that we have. We have to start letting more people in. That's why we're doing it, because, honestly, Social Security will not be sustainable without new blood. We don't have the new blood. In order for us to be able to be on Social Security, you have to have workers that can pay into it while we're sitting on it. We don't have it here. That's why we allow so many immigrants into this country. Let's be honest here. That's why you ever listen to Donald Trump. He said it already. We really need these people. He knows it, but doesn't care. He's willing to cut off our nose and spite our face right now because he knows your hate is greater than the truth. That's just a fact.
Yeah. And I mean, for him, I mean, like, they're not going to let, I mean, they want to let Europeans in, but the Europeans don't want to come here.
There's no, here for what? There's no health care.
You have hella, there's hella, y'all crazy. You got hella guns.
They get to retire at like 50 something or something like that years old.
They get 3 days off.
They get like a whole month and a half off or some crazy stuff like that. I mean,
they ain't got to live off tips, bro. Why would I want to come to America?
I'm not coming here for. Period. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'd like here because I'm not used to Europe. Maybe if I was used to somewhere else and lived somewhere else, maybe that's what I would like. But
there's a rapper, Tony Yayo. He was like, man, when I'm out the country, he's like, I like it. He's like, it's nice and peaceful. He's like, because when I come back to America, I'm nervous. And they're like, why? He's like, because there's so many guns out here. Everybody got guns.
And you got to worry about everything a different kind of way. I mean, we just had somebody on the show. We had to tell him, I said, hey, man, if the person don't want to just shoot you the fair one means a fair fight, then you might as well leave him alone. Because there might be something that comes after that then, if that's not what he's into.
Well, I tell people that too. I'm like, they're like, why are people shooting each other so much? I'm like, ain't nobody want to fight these street gladiators. Somebody said it today. He's like, you can tell there's a difference between people that are raised in a house with love and people that are raised in a house with abuse. Because the kids that are raised in a house with abuse, saying, they're used to getting beat. And so they're used to taking that pain. And a kid that ain't used to getting beat, he trying to hang out with him, but he can't because they don't like him because they be like, look at you with a 2-parent home, you punk motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I feel just that's majority honest truth. But some people just soft as a motherfucker as a baby's bottom. That's just what it is.
But it's okay to be soft. That's the whole thing.
I mean, like, it's okay, but
not everybody has to be rowdy. I mean, you can't.
No, not everybody got to be rowdy.
You can't be too soft. But I'm just saying.
I ain't saying all like that. I'm just saying you can't. You stupid, bro.
I saw a video of this lady come home and her husband was on the couch with another dude. Or she busted into the house. He on the couch with another dude. And he hop up. He like, what you mean? What you talking about? And I'm like, how you ain't know?
Listen,
you ain't know.
What I'm going to say is you're stupid, bro. What I'm going to say is this right here. I think eventually we're going to have to pick our sides when it comes to this whole entire immigration fight right here. We picked a side. We've talked about it. I mean, you got yours, I got mine. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, is it like are we siding with our brothers and sisters who are being persecuted in this fight? Because that's how I feel. I feel like they're being persecuted, man. A lot of them.
Do the immigrants come in here and say they want to support African Americans in our struggle?
I don't. To me, man, I'm gonna tell you honestly.
Because the majority that I've seen kind of avoid us and detour our progress. They get into positions and deter what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
So, also they can't vote. So, I mean, it's not my fault you came to America thinking it was nice because you saw that 70s show on TV. This is the reality. I'm just saying, I love everybody hates Chris. Is it like that? No. The racist parts, yes. But the rest, no. No.
Let me say this. This is how I feel. I feel like this. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? We've had very contentious relations with most Latino Americans. And that's not to say only Latino Americans come here. You got a lot of Haitians, you got a lot of Africans. We've had contentious relationships with them as well as us being black people from this country. However, I do feel like there's a way for us to maybe try and extend the olive branch, because in the future, their vote and our vote is going to be the heaviest votes that there is.
They can't vote if they can't be here.
Not all of them. Eventually, people will be able to be here. Eventually, a lot of them are going to become legal. It's impossible not to allow them to become.
I think you keep, brother. I love you to death, brother. But you keep thinking we're gonna go back to them old American rules. my brother. We less than 30 days up in. Actually, no, wait. We less than 40 days back in this. I don't even know what country. I know where I'm at. I'm glad I live in Washington because ain't too much change. But we ain't going back, brother. I mean, he can't deport the migrants quick enough. He's pretty mad about it. So he fired the head of ICE, and he was like, get somebody else in there. Y'all need. He's like, now go get the. Right now, he's saying, go get the children. That's what he really wants. You know, he got to fill up. He got to fill up his old buddy that had the island, whose name we will not say because we will get demonetized. He got to fill that back up. Hey, it happened last time.
No, don't get me wrong. This is not me saying you wrong.
Children just happened to disappear.
That was just the ad lib right there. Don't get that twisted. I'm not saying
I'm not going to say he,
right there.
He who shall not be named. I ain't saying it. Absolutely. And that's how they look, folks. We said his name once, and they dropped our numbers. All right, like it's that real. That real. It took us. We just got back.
Absolutely. I mean, but I do feel like there's a fight that we're in. You know what I mean? And we do need to pick a side. We do need to let people know because they are going to come after us next.
That's why what you need to do right now is stock up on your water, your food, get enough wood to board up your house, and get ammo and guns. Why they're not distracted.
We're not watching them. We act like we're not watching what's really happening here. We see who they're talking about, who should be here. We would like to have more people from Europe. That stuff's over with, man. Those days are over. Your people in Europe, their populations can't even sustain what they got going on. They're having to bring in immigrants as well. They hate it, but they have to.
You can tell us it's over, but when you tell the other side it's over, all they see is matches, pitchforks, and gasoline all over America. Like I said, they don't care if the population's 200,000 European Americans in America, as long as it's them. That's what happens when people don't show up for an election because under a Democrat president, what is the word people get? They get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Obama, because complacent. Obama made people think they had a choice. They thought they could sit the election out and be like, I'm not going to vote for Hillary just so I can sit back and they can criticize her. And then what happened? You know what I'm saying?
You got two. So I think he got two Supreme Court. I mean, he got 3 of them that time. He got 3 Supreme Court justices that time. This is what flipped the whole entire court.
Of your lifetime.
This is what flipped the whole entire court.
I've seen 4 popes in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 popes, and we're about to have another one.
Us not stepping up and doing what needs to be done. We can talk about Hillary. We can talk about Kamala all we want to. We can have all the negative things to say about them, but we had America at that point in time, and America was progressing, and we were progressing as a people. I mean, instead, what the difference is right here is the difference is this right here. Kamala wanted to come in and build 5 million new homes. I believe it was 5 million new homes or something like that within her first term, and sell them all to single family homes and sell them all to families. What's happening during this now that we have Trump in office, what happens now? J.P. Morgan and another bank comes out with a forever rent. This is what they're going to build. They're going to build single family homes that only can be rented forever. They want you to rent your life. Y'all don't see what's happening. You're not paying attention to what's really, really going on here. You know
BlackRock came out and said that. They said that themselves. They were like, look,
Larry Fink.
They came out and they said, look, you're going to rent everything and you're going to like it. Think about it now. When's the last time you bought music media? When's the last time you bought an MP3? Let's just say that. Or a CD. A CD, a record. When's the last time you bought a movie? You haven't. Everything is on streaming. So when they decide to cut that off, they can take it from you.
That's you know what I'm saying? Put it, bro.
Exactly. It's what it is. You're giving up your freedoms for comfort. Think about your car. You don't really own your car. If you drive it without, I got to get my tabs too. If you drive it without the tabs, they take it. You can own your home, but if you don't pay your property tax, they'll take your house, right? You never really own things in America. Only thing you really own is your guns.
Wow. A bill to overturn CFPB overdraft fee rule would hurt families, allow big banks to keep $5 billion in excessive fees. Today, House Financial Service Committee Chairman French Hill, Republican from Arkansas, and Senate Banking Committee Chairman Tim Scott, Republican of South Carolina, moved to repeal a measure limiting excessive junk fees imposed by big banks on people already short of funds. French and Scott introduced Congressional Review Act, CRA, resolution to overturn the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's overdraft fee rules. The rule caps most big banks' overdraft fees at just $5, down from the typical $35 charge per transaction. The rule would save the 23 million households who would pay overdraft fees $5 billion a year. A decision to overturn it would cost these households an average of $225 each per year. Republican leadership is siding with Wells Fargo and other big banks over working families hurt by abusive overdraft fees practices that are huge junk fee profit centers, said Lauren Saunders, Associate Director of the National Consumer Law Center. People should let their legislators know that they need Congress to help them deal with high cost and inflation, not rich banks get richer at their expense. Banks take billions of dollars a year from the families that can least afford it, but they don't need to charge these fees at all. Capital One, Citibank, and Ally have completely eliminated overdraft fees while continuing to cover overdrafts. Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase, however, remain the biggest offenders, each taking about $1 billion a year in overdraft fees and non-sufficient funds fees.
Yes, they said the industry reported a total of $1.5 billion in overdraft-related services charges income in the fourth quarter. It was down actually 12.4% from the linked quarter when banks brought in $1.77 billion in overdraft-related income. Check this out, folks. They took $1.55 billion from people that didn't have money. They took that money from you. You didn't have it in the first place. And they're like, well, we're going to charge you for not. I remember I used to have Bank of America. I had to drop them because Bank of America, I don't know if they still have this rule, but you have to have so much money in your bank account. And if you don't, they charge you a fee.
Yep.
The bank I bank with, I'm not going to say who I bank with, but I like them because even if I go to like an ATM somewhere and they charge me $6, my bank covers that fee. That's a real bank. And then if I have an overdraft, they have overdraft protection. And then if I do have an overdraft, they have overdraft forgiveness. You just call and say, hey, can you get rid of that? And the bank's like, yeah, we'll take it off. It's cool. As long as you put the money back in there.
I mean, because at the end of the day, they're making money hand over fist. Banks can take your money on LIBOR. It's like, it's just different things. They take your money and they can go and lend out 10 times your money. This is what this is all about. So for them doing what they're doing is not helpful. I mean, yeah, all they're really doing is padding their bottom lines and helping out their stockholders. This is it. I mean, it's not like they're helping out the common man, taking $225 away from people who can least afford it. There should be bigger rules. And I mean, if they can limit it to $5, that's great. That's not this. I mean, it's not nearly as much as $35 per transaction. That's a lot, man. I mean, so at the end of the day, man, these type of things right here tell me why Republicans are not for the people. You may have gotten the people's vote, but they were bamboozled and they don't even really realize it. Most of those people are the people that call themselves the forgotten man. You're not the forgotten man. You forgot yourself. You chose the life that you chose. I mean, the hatred that you hold and harbor, it's on you. Like you tell everybody else, pick themselves up by their bootstrap. Well, get rid of her if you don't love him. Get rid of him if you don't care about him. I mean, that's a part of your life. You need to care about. I mean, worry about what you can change and deal with that. But at the end of the day, these type of fees right here on people are just onerous, and it should be illegal. From my perspective.
I mean, they'll do it until the people get tired of taking it. And I mean, they're going to have more fees now because we're run by rich folks, and they're going to push you to the limits. They've already pushed you to the limits, and you're seeing it now. People are like, "Why are they coming?" Like they got a thing where they're. I was watching the other day, or actually today, where they're proposing like taking these people's land to run electrical wires. You know what I'm saying? Acres and acres. Like I think it's like 75 miles or something like that of just straight land from
eminent domain. They'll take it.
Yeah, and the people are like, they're like, "Yo, why are you doing to this? Why are you doing this to us?" The little girl got up there. She asked the politician a question, and she was like, or she asked the guy a question. She's like, you answered like a politician because you didn't answer my question. You just danced around it. And you know what I'm saying? And the people in the comments were like, "Yo, I didn't see y'all having this much anger for the Keystone Pipeline." You know what I'm saying? This is what you asked for. People don't realize they've taken so much from the black community that they can't take any more from us. They're taking so much from the Mexican American community that they can't take any more from us. They have to take it from you. But they keep pointing, "Oh, it's not us. It's that black guy over there." You ever notice how, like, I don't know if you ever see this. When you go to click on an article and it's supposed to piss you off, they put a black person on there. Has nothing to do with it. Remember when I showed you the one where they're like, "Oh, that one senator, was missing," and they found her, or the politician, and she was in an old folks home.
Out of Texas. She's from Texas.
But for some reason, who was in the picture? 2 black people. It wasn't even her. It's just 2. I mean, they do it anyway. So
they've been doing this for years, man. This has been going on for a very long time. They did it with the whole Willie Horton. Every time they want to put a face on something and make it negative, they do that. I mean, it's something I know people who live outside this country, they've talked about. They're like, hey, before we come here, they'll show us stuff about crime and everything. And every time you see the people committing the crimes, who you think it is?
Shoot, man, I remember I worked over at Martha and Mary in Paulsbo, Washington. And I was over there and they were showing this video about, AIDS and HIV, you know what I'm saying? And everybody in the video was 2 black people and a gay Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at like, oh, this is the propaganda you want to put. Like, just these people are the ones catching AIDS, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And the black lady was in there all crazy. She was like, yeah, my husband gave it to me and said, well, I had to give it to somebody else. And then the Mexican dude was like super gay, like flamboyant. So, I mean, it's just crazy how they use propaganda like that against us.
No, absolutely.
And then I got this one. Breaking news: 2 people in the U.S. hospitalized with bird flu. CDC reports. 2 people in Wyoming and Ohio have been hospitalized with the H5N1 bird flu, the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention said in a routine flu update on Friday. The person from Wyoming is still in the hospital while the Ohio patient has been released, according to reports. Both patients experienced respiratory and non-respiratory symptoms, the reports said, without detailing those symptoms. This shows that H5N1 can be very severe and we should not assume that it will always be mild, said Angela Rusman, a virologist at the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization at the University of Saskatchewan. The news comes amid one of the worst seasonal flu outbreaks in 15 years, raising the potential for the emergence of a more dangerous virus that combines bird flu and seasonal flu in a process called reassortment. Now, I've been on this bird flu stuff for a while, and Wes knows this. And, this is the reason you don't have any eggs, because of the bird flu. You know what I'm saying? And now it's turned to humans. They've actually, folks, 2 cats have actually died from the bird flu in Ohio.
Yeah,
two house cats. Imagine you're now, if it goes to cats, it can go to dogs. Go to dogs and go to turtles. You know what I'm saying? Like, your house now, I mean, you may not care about everybody else, but you're going to care about Frisky. You're going to care about Mittens when you come home and Mittens is dead on the ground and the mouse are dancing around her like, that pussy's dead.
It had to kill over, I think they said 140 million birds since chickens since 2022, and they've killed, like they said, 17 million alone in this November, December of just 2024.
Yeah.
So I mean, those numbers are, it's speaking volumes about what is happening. Look, it's decimated the entire egg industry in the United States. I mean, you look where we're at right now. They're about to sell, I think we're about to buy 420 million eggs from Turkey. They're going to ship us that many this year. It's the most they've ever shipped us in history. It's they've had to up, which is a good idea. This isn't stuff that this is what we should have fell back on this a while ago. We should have went to Mexico. We should have been able to go to Canada and try to get more eggs from them. But now
we can't. We're beefing with them. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to, hopefully this ship from Turkey makes it with these eggs. They're probably going to be disgusting by the time they get here.
Jesus Christ. No, honestly, eggs, man, in other countries, they sit eggs on shelves. They don't even go in. Like, only in our country do they go in, or are they refrigerated? I mean, you go there, their eggs are literally on the shelf. There's not in the refrigerator. And
but see,
they sit them on shelves as well too. They don't go bad like that. I'm telling you, it's just.
Well, I mean, you can tell if an egg's bad. My bad to interrupt. If you take an egg and you put it in a cup of water, or a thing of water, and if it floats to the top, it's a bad egg.
But at the same time, too, we put all these antibiotics and everything else inside of our birds and make the eggs worse than what they should be. They're not even the right color. Their shells are not even as thick as they should be. I mean, we got to remember the eggs that we get here they're turning them out rapid, and they're all from a bunch of birds that are just fat and not even. So it's not
what real chickens look like.
Yeah, it's not even the quality that we should be getting. So that's why they'll go bad. That's why they have to keep them the way they do, because that's the quality that we're eating. You go somewhere else, you'll see like when you crack the egg, it's more like a rich yellow color. It's like a golden kind of a color. It's just different. And so,
and people are going to freak out like turkey's trying to poison us.
Yeah. But they don't have no idea until they actually get the opportunity to eat an egg that's,
I can't eat American eggs.
Maybe good for you.
I mean, that's why I don't eat eggs now. I used to eat eggs all the time. They have to be certain eggs, because if they're not like brown eggs or like well taken care of chicken eggs, like the ones that they're pumping out, the ones you're talking about, I can't eat those. They make me sick.
Let me run through these two real quick here. Small Alabama city police force put on leave after grand jury finds rampant corruption. A small Alabama city placed its entire police force on administrative leave a day after a grand jury recommended the department be disbanded, saying it has operated as more of a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency. Huntsville Mayor Jim Sawyer said Thursday in a statement that the Coleman County Sheriff's Department will temporarily take over law enforcement duties as city officials mull the next steps. Coleman County District Attorney Champ Crocker announced Wednesday that the grand jury had indicted the Huntsville police chief and 4 of his officers who are accused of mishandling or removing materials from the department's evidence room. They have been charged with a variety of offenses, including misuse of state criminal databases and distribution of controlled substances to each other, according to indictments. Citing what it called a rampant culture of corruption, the grand jury recommended that the department be immediately abolished. It is disturbing on many levels, Crocker said Thursday by phone. He said there have been unfettered access to evidence room, but declined to discuss specifics of the allegations. So basically, they're saying that these people this whole police force is basically operated as a criminal enterprise. They're selling drugs to each other, probably selling drugs in the community. You know what I mean? If you're doing that right there, imagine how you're treating the people in the community. I wonder what their community is based on, you know, who's makes up their community. You know, what color people. I'm sure they small town like that, probably a lot more people who look like them, which is probably Caucasians, you know, and so they're getting to operate willy-nilly however they want to. That makes perfect sense for them. They don't have to really do anything. This is why you get a lot of under policing in places like this, because they're all buddy in that neighborhood right there. And you know, these guys are in the they got pictures of these guys in the evidence room, stealing evidence from it. You know, whatever they find on you, it's going to be back out in the streets tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they'd be like, hey man, and like, put black dynamite. I'll sell drugs in the community. As it may. It's not funny, it's sad, because you know these people that's what happens. Sometimes power corrupts people, and it is what it is. You know, if you're a police officer, you're making maybe $120,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? To you, that's good money. But then you run into a drug dealer. He's been on the corner for 4 hours. He just made like 8 bands. You know what I'm saying? You're like, damn, bro, he didn't have to do nothing but just stand there. You know what I'm saying? And then you see the money you bring in. Think about it, you bust somebody. I know they just had a bust. I think it was somewhere in the South. They just found like it was $31 million of meth.
Hey, was it the one? There was a dude. I saw a dude driving a truck. You know what I'm saying? They found him like $1 million in cash. I don't know if I was like might have been a Latino dude, but he had $1 million in cash.
It was a brother.
It did a whole bunch of like either weed or something else.
He had weed. He had cocaine. He had fentanyl. All this. Anyways, they caught him because you know they just fucking like they like to mess with black people. He was just sitting there playing on his phone in traffic, and the cops like, you can't play on your phone while you're driving. He's like, oh my bad. He just got he got lazy. And so, they went to the truck and found the drugs. Shoot, they just found $31 million worth of meth on someone else just driving. Or no, they found it at a drug stash house.
Yeah, that's too bad, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, this police force right here is speaking volumes. They got rid of the sheriff. They got rid of the officers. They basically disbanded the whole. Imagine your town. They said, okay, all
border
your
agents.
Police force is done. Go ahead.
It was U.S. Customs Border Protection seized 31 million worth of methamphetamines, and now that's not the one from today. It was found in peppers, but that's 2004. I just saw it. When I find it again, folks, I'll bring it on the next episode. It was crazy, but they showed the cops behind the meth like.
I mean, that's a huge bust, man.
That's a lot of meth.
That's a big bust. I wonder if these guys probably. I mean, there's a picture of the dude just rummaging through the stuff in the room, like I'm looking for whatever he needed for the day. He was gonna go to the room and go get it off. You know what I'm saying, dude? Imagine that. You could just go bust people, knowing, okay, I know they got pounds over here. I know y'all got some keys over here. I can go and bust you, and know I can put it back out on the street tomorrow. Think about it. I'm gonna bust you.
If you working for somebody, right? Yeah. Have you ever watched the show The Shield? Yeah, that used to be my show until I got woke to my surroundings. But anyways, you know what I'm saying, what he was doing, he was robbing, he was letting them sell drugs in Farmington, but he was controlling it. He was like, I get a cut, whatever, what you want. And my favorite episode is season 2, because homeboy tried to double up on the shipment, and the guy sold him bad coke. So what they did, they drove to Mexico to go run up on dude that sold him bad coke, but they got their guns. He's like, go get us some guns. Dude, his partner got robbed for their fucking their badges. So he's like, I ain't got no guns. So they're like, well, he's about to leave. So what they do, they run up on them, take the guns off their waist, put the drug dealer in the back, or the drug lord in the back of the trunk, take him somewhere, put a tire over him, pour gasoline on it. They'd be like, yo, I need my money. You're going to pay me back for my drugs, my coke, and you're going to pay me extra for messing up my day. And so anyways, they go back and they take him somewhere and they get the drugs back. But they get the money back for it, right? Then they're like, you know what? No, we ain't giving him up. He got a warrant in America. Threw him back in the trunk, filled him up with roofies, and it took him back. I mean, that's so the basically stuff they're doing.
The corruption is what you're getting at right here. The corruption of the whole thing is why we just talked about the Shield. We put a whole episode of the Shield. We could have made the episode of the Shield right there with that right there. I like that right there.
That was a good show.
But it's telling you about how rampant corruption really works in the system. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, these guys that's why we have to really be harder on police officers than anyone else, because of the amount of power and the responsibility that we bestow upon them. Yeah. You know, it's just like why we should be harder on our president, why we should expect more from them, because they're blessed with immense power. You know what I mean? So with that power comes that responsibility comes with that, you know? So
acting like he's going to be cool like Spider-Man. Our president, or the America's president, flexing his power. They're putting up new articles they were like, oh, he could take over the DC police. And I was like, well, why are you telling him that? Stop
He's
giving
already
him
trying.
info.
He's already trying to. He's actually already put in for a thing that he wants to do that. He's out of control. Let me knock this out. Israel sends tanks to the West Bank for the first time in 20 years. Here's why that's significant. The Israeli military this weekend deployed tanks to the occupied West Bank for the first time in 2 decades. In the background of Gaza ceasefire, Israel has steadily escalated an intense military operation in Palestinian cities in the West Bank, killing dozens and displacing tens of thousands of residents. Since Hamas' October 7th attack, Israel has regularly launched airstrikes on the West Bank, which was almost unheard of before. Its defense minister, Israel Katz, said on Sunday that he instructed the military to stay for a year and to prevent the return of residents. U.S. President Donald Trump has come under withering criticism for his proposal to expel 2.1 million Palestinians from Gaza. And yet, as the left-leaning Israeli newspaper Haaretz alleged in an editorial Monday, Israel is already doing in the West Bank what it threatens to do in Gaza. The West Bank territory that lies west of the Jordan River between Israel and Jordan has been occupied by Israeli military since 1967. It is home to more than 3.3 million Palestinians. Israel captured the West Bank and East Jerusalem, including the Old City, which is religious landmarks from Jordan after a brief war in 1967. Many Israelis believe that Jews have a biblical right to the land, which they call Judea and Samaria. Since Israel captured the West Bank, around 500,000 Jewish Israelis have built homes in towns known as settlements. Because the West Bank is considered to be occupied under the international law, these settlements are illegal, but they are condoned and have been encouraged by the Israeli government. Yeah, I really just wanted to get that out, man, because they're taking the entire. They're basically kicking all the Palestinians out, and they're taking all of Palestine. I don't even want to call that Israel anymore. I don't care how you feel about it. I mean, not you in particular, but just people. I don't even want to call that, because they're just illegally dispelling these people, and they have the backing of a corrupt United States government and their corrupt Israeli government as well. And yes, whoever else is siding with them, you're a corrupt government as well. I like to say that. And it's
sad. It's a trial run, honestly, because I mean, you hear Donald Trump talking about, hey, I'll make Canada the 51st state. We're going to take Greenland, probably Mexico, Panama or whatever. And you're thinking he's just talking, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? America, I mean, under Joe Biden, Israel was allowed to take Gaza and destroy it. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth.
Flatten it. Kill whatever they wanted to kill. I don't mean to cut you.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying they were allowed to do it. And he was supposed to be the more remorseful one. You know what I'm saying? So Donald Trump said, we're going to make the Riviera of the Middle East. Well, what else are they going to take in the Middle East? Because you can't just have Americans in the Middle East like that are going to be under attack. They're going to probably take most of the Middle East and take all the oil. They're going to take Canada. They're going to take Greenland. And they're probably going to take parts of Mexico that are really nice. You know why? Because nobody's going to stop them. Who's going to stop them? Russia? China? The UK? America ain't scared of the UK. The UK knows if it wasn't for America's involvement, they'd probably be Germany right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to understand the big picture. America's about expansion, and then when they start dispelling these people in Gaza, they're going to say, hey, it worked, no one stopped us. Let's go do it to the people we don't like in America. You see how they had them all in Guantanamo Bay and they cleared them out.
Yeah, I'm just at a point right now. We got to more than just condemn. We have to speak on this on a regular basis and tell people who Israel really is. Israel is a puppeteer of the United States. They puppet the United States government. They have us in a basically in one of those sock characters. They can just talk right through us. We supplied all the bombs just for them to basically blow up and knock down every single building pretty much in Gaza. We gave them, that's billions of Americans' taxpayer dollars. When you want to cry about something, cry about that, because they're going to give them some more money to knock down the rest. Just give them billions and more dollars. So if you think you got a president in office right now who's going to help you, you don't. None of these presidents have been helpful to any of us, not throughout history. I won't name not one of them who has been helpful. When you look at the Palestinians, I look at them as being like us, even if we're not akin to each other as far as like how they treat us when we're there or how they look at us when we're there. I don't care. I can see, I feel their pain because I understand the pain of the many people of color in this country and what we've gone through. So I can only imagine, what they're going through over there right now.
Yeah, I mean, Israel owns America, bro. I mean, the UN reported a while back, about 2 years ago, they were targeting 35 states that have, states over laws banning anti-Israel bias. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk bad about them in your own. You can't even criticize any of them in your own states. Because they'd be like, "Oh, you're anti-Semitic. How so?" Because I criticize you about the horrific things you're doing.
You saw when Trump just came out and said that if you are here on any kind of a student visa and you criticize Israel, you're out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you're taking away the freedom of speech out of this country. Period.
Well,
when
when
a person walks on this soil, you have the right to a freedom of speech. You have the right to the Constitution. Period. No matter if you're from this country or if you're not, you have those rights.
Well, they're hall pass aliens, so they shouldn't be saying nothing anyways.
I don't
in his mind, that's what they say.
You know what I mean? I get what
you're
saying.
They're illegal aliens, but they have a hall pass to be here.
I don't see them as being. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't see them as being illegal. If I put in for a visa and I was given a visa, then I am here legally in your country to study. This is what I'm here for. I should be under the same protections that your people are under in this country. Yes, I understand that I cannot commit crimes, but I'm not committing a crime by speaking out on atrocities. That's never been a crime in this country until now.
It is now.
Atrocity.
Welcome to New America, Wes.
It's not truly a crime, but they're trying to make it one.
They're going to.
And absolutely, I think so too.
Think about what happens. Look, he's changing all the stuff first of all, he's changing all the stuff in America that makes it so he doesn't have to get out. He doesn't have to leave his position. All the things that stopped him from being able to take over government, he's getting rid of that. He's getting rid of the stuff so he can give people tax breaks. Next, think about what happens when he sits there and he's like, mission accomplished. Now I'm bored. Who do I want to terrorize next? So that's all it is. But that's what he wants, fear and hate. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep you up to date as long as they let us do it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Uncommon Courtesy. I'm D-Mac. This is Wesley, and we'll see you next time.